accepting the fact that women are an oppressed group by society.
Hi everyone, I am taking a small break from Tropes vs. Men to bring you this stupid twat. That's right, denial of women's oppression. Hashtag yes all women. I've left a link to her video below. Watch it at your own risk. It's going to melt your brain. It really, really is. And I feel really bad because Doctor Who rocks and you're a twat. Anyway, I'm sick of hearing about this systematic oppression that is basically the crux of a lot of third wave feminists, that everything is sexist and everything is racist. You've got to point it all out, to quote Anita Sarkeesian. So I thought I'd do a bit of research today about systematic oppression and how badly women, and in Australia, because we have the Aboriginal Society, and I'm very inclusive, I decided to invite them along too. So I've done a bit of research today, and this information is open to everyone. You can go to the websites, but I looked at scholarship information at the three major universities in southeast Queensland, being Griffith University, University of Southern Queensland, and UQ, or University of Queensland. And I'm going to admit, I found some racism and I found some sexism. So I thought I'd put together, a cool little segment called Oppression Olympics Uni Undergrad Edition. So here are the rules. I'm going for scholarships and bursaries for undergraduate students and for future students. So this is for when you're starting study. Now, I suspected, and my hypothesis was that there was going to be a bit of a difference between the genders and between Aboriginals and non-Aboriginal Australians. I had no idea when I started looking into this how different those numbers would be. I suspected around 5 to 10% difference. Turns out I was wrong, and not wrong by a little bit. As a scientist, I really like data. I like the way that we can look at facts and figures and put them into a table like this so they're easy to interpret. Let's go from one end to the other. So if you're Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander, $205,900. The second column in the Aboriginal group of data is an extra $15,000 that you can apply for if you happen to be gay, lesbian, LGBTQIA plus whatever. $205,900 simply because of the colour of your skin. We look at the women, $270,045 simply because you were born with a vagina. And of course the extra $15,000 if you are a member of the LGBTQIA plus community. And then we look at the male data of $65,500. There's a pretty drastic drop there. Now, I also want to point out the differences between the grants. When it comes to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander, it isn't much more difficult than proving that you're Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander, which comes as a letter from your elder. Woman, that's pretty self-explanatory. Do you identify as male or female, or carrot, or whatever you identify as? So they're pretty simple. The male ones, though, or the scholarships that were eligible for men to apply for, and I've got to point out that there was no single grant, scholarship or bursary that men were entitled to that women and Aboriginals are not. There are, however, grants that Aboriginals can apply for that women and men can't who are white, and there is a lot of grants that women can apply for but not men. But the one thing that really stuck out like a sore thumb in this information is, of course, that the grants for men, or that they were eligible to apply for, should I say, was basically there for financial hardship. If you were having rough times, that's when you could apply for it. The women and Aboriginal ones are pretty much open to, are you Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander or are you a woman? And I find this really bizarre. I really find this really bizarre. We live in a world of affirmative action. Unfortunately, it's just a way of life, especially in academia. There was one grant in particular that men can apply for if they're financially having financial difficulties. But that grant is also available for women and Torres Strait Islanders. And it's also available for people who are entering a field that is not, let's say, specific for their gender, or it's not the gender norm role. Which got me thinking, okay, what about men and male nurses? So I rang up the university and I said, look, I'm a university student that is studying nursing and coming to university next year. I would like to know whether I can apply for that grant. Because, I want to know what I'm eligible for. And the response I got was no. No, I'm not eligible for that. That is for women entering STEM fields. And then there's a big difference between that grant, which is about $1,500, but they also have $1,000, their gift cards for either their textbook shop or Woolworths or Officeworks or something. But the big one for women is there is a big grant, I think it was about $40,000 for women entering a STEM field. And there you have it. There's the blatant sexism. And as we can see there is a big difference between men and women's potential scholarships and bursaries. And there's a big difference between the males and Aboriginals. So the next time that you hear a third wave feminist say that there is systematic oppression, well, you can refer to these figures and go, well, there have been some people that have pointed out that you're full of shit. And please, I welcome it. If you want me to look into something else or you think I've missed something, please let me know. I am going to try and become a reliable source of information. I'll list the sources that I've used down below, and I'll put the link for the other video in the description as well when I upload. Also, don't forget to subscribe because Tropes versus Men start this week.